Have you guys ever bought your mother flowers or a plant, or even bought your grandma, anybody, a flower or a plant for a holiday or a special occasion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What did they do with that plant or flowers? How did they care for them? Did they feed them food?
Put it in water.
Put it in water? What about the plants that are outside? Did they put them in pots or did they put them in the ground?
Both.
Both. Okay. And how did they water them? Did you ever water them for them, or did you always just watch them water them? If they were in the ground, outside plants.
They put on the sprinkler and it waters the whole plant.
Waters the whole plant?
Like the petals and everything.
Do you think that, have you ever watered a plant and just poured the water right on the leaves?
Oh, yeah.
You have?
Uh-huh.
Do you think that the roots, which are in the ground, right? Do you think that they got the water?
What did you guys think happened?
If you poured it on the petals or the leaves, do you think that the water got to the roots,
You can pick whichever one you
which are in the ground?
It depends on how much water you pour in there, but I think it did.
You think it did?
Well, I think plants absorb water
After
through
we're over, we're
their
gonna
leaves.
Through their leaves?
Yeah.
I think that they make their own food
You think they make their own food?
and oxygen.
Okay. What I want you to do, since we're getting into some ideas and questions, I want you guys to get out a piece of notebook paper.
Can it be a scratch
It
piece
could
of
be,
paper?
yeah. Yep.
Do we need a hamburger or hot dog size paper?
No, just a plain sheet of notebook paper.
Wait, what grade are we in?
We are second graders.
Why am I so confused?
Just get out a piece of notebook paper.
I'm like super nervous that this isn't going to be recorded. I should just.
Okay, at the top of your notebook paper, I want you to write questions/ideas. Like I'll show you an example.
Is your prediction of
How
time?
do you spell question?
Alright, and I'm fast, eyes on me. Alrighty, so next, you see
Q-U-E-S-T-I-O-N-S. She just wrote it on the board.
we are just going to draw what we think could happen to the cells.
So, what did you just say about the plants, how they get their food?
They make it themselves.
They make it themselves. I want you to write that down as I write it down.
Draw the celery coming out of the top,
Make
like so. It can have leaf celery.
their own.
You can use your imagination. You can either wait for your team member. Oh, okay. And thank you very much for sharing.
Well, my idea was that they get water through their leaves.
They get when you pour the water onto the leaves, what do you think they absorb the water?
Yeah.
Okay, let's write that question down. That plant, when water is poured onto plant leaves, the plant leaves absorb the water.
That's a lot to write.
Plants absorb water through their leaves.
It's poured on plants.
And so this is what you guys think will happen, right? So this is for our engaged training. Next, we're going to explore some of the skills that we have in reading investigation. Alright. So can someone share with me and their fellow classmates what they think could happen during this investigation?
Or music?
Yes.
Social
What do you
studies.
think happens when you water plants?
Okay. And then I think
Me?
a lot better.
Do you also believe that the water is absorbed through the leaves? Do you think it's absorbed through the stems?
No, I think it's absorbed through the roots.
Through the roots. Okay. So water.
You think plants are dead, by the way. Right here. You're supposed to use these as your misconceptions.
Are you guys writing that down? Can you write that down for me?
Yeah.
Oh, whoops.
Sorry, I have another idea.
You have another idea? Okay.
There you go.
I think plants are not alive.
We're going to set the celery inside
All right.
the clear water and the color.
And why do you think
We're
that?
just going to see.
So you think plants are dead?
I think they're dead.
And why? What experience have you had with plants that make you think that plants are dead? Because plants are organisms, and we are organisms.
Well,
So-
I can talk and walk and eat food and stuff, and plants are just sitting like that. Doesn't talk or walk. It's dead.
What do you think would happen? Okay, so you think that when your mom was given flowers, and at first they're all bright and colorful, right?
Yeah.
Let's say flowers in your house, so you bought her flowers like roses. So they're all bright and beautiful, right? What happens to them when they get wilted? Are they dead to begin with, and then they're dead when they're wilted too? Why do they do that?
Changed my mind completely.
Okay, well these ideas and questions are going to be covered through this investigation that we are going to explore. So we have this question. I'm going to give you guys all 2 stalks of celery. Okay? And with those 2 stalks of celery, you're going to have 2 different containers. One container will be filled with clear water, and the other container will be filled with dyed water. So the water will have color in it, like dye you use for Easter eggs.
I thought water was dead.
So then we're gonna put 1 celery in the clear water and 1 celery in the dyed water. So what we're gonna try to figure out is what will happen to the celery if we put it in a container of colored water, and what will happen to the celery if we put it in a container of clear water. So I want you guys, I'm going to give you these sheets of paper, and I want you to draw. You have day 1, and then you have a day that doesn't say anything at all. Okay? So for day 1, it says before down below. Do you see that? There's that orange sphere is your, or whatever that is your container, okay? So I want you to draw a piece of celery in the clear water in the before.
What does celery look like?
This is, I'm going to show you here in a few minutes what we're going to use for this experiment. So this is a piece of celery, okay? So I want you to draw this plain piece of celery in that first
Are the leaves
container.
in the water?
You can draw the water in it.
Are the leaves in the water?
No, the stem, it's gonna sit just like this in the container of water. Sit straight up. The leaves are at the top because, yes, like a tree. And we are going to compare celery to trees and to other plants because they are all similar, and we will figure this out in our experiment. Okay. Alright, now I want you in say day 2. So up where it says day, put day 2. Okay, so is everyone on day 2? Go ahead and write day 2 for the next day on your right. Okay, so down below it says after. So I want you to draw the second piece of celery after it's been put into dye. So the first one is in clear water. What do you think will happen to the celery that's put into dyed water? So say the water is going to be red. What do you think will happen to the celery? What will the celery look like?
I didn't know celery were allowed to have celery.
I just heard online that he just thinks it's like a big one. Yeah, and maybe
I saw those trees before in Florida. Those are palm trees.
Not known for my artistic abilities.
Okay, so we're going to write, I want you guys to write, down below it says prediction, okay? So we're going to write what's called an I think because claim. Alright? So first I want you to write, by the predictions, write think is going to happen from the celery in the clear water to the celery in the red water. So what's going to happen to the celery in the red water? Then let me know once you've got to that part. Got that part written. What do you think is going to happen to the celery in the red water?
The next two are your We're like all in the same class, so
Put your pencil down when you're done with that part.
Are you kidding me? It was extremely weird. Just a little confused that you're
Okay, now we're going to do the because part. So next put because. B-E. Okay, now you're going to put why you think that's going to happen. And you can't just, I don't want you to just put because the water is red. I want you to tell me why because you've had an experience. So, an experience you've had where you have good evidence for your reasoning and why you think that will happen. After you're done, I would like you to pair up and share with your partner your prediction. I'll be partner.
Are you sure?
Well,
You don't want
I
to
said,
I do.
I think the
I'm very
celery in the
interested
red
in
water
your
will die
in the
because
clear
the
will live,
leaves
and the
aren't.
celery in the red will die.
And why do you think that?
Because the dye will kill the celery.
And what experience have you had that shows you that dye?
Okay, I think the celery in the red water will die because the leaves aren't getting food.
Well, I really haven't. I
And then I
just
said because the
tasted dye
celery
before
absorbs
because my
water
mom
through its
put dye in our cupcakes.
I said, I think the part of celery that is in the red water will die, will be dyed red, because the dye will dye the stem. Like when I dye Easter eggs, they become the color of the dye. Because I wasn't really sure
Okay,
how
did you
to
guys talk
relate it to
about,
them making their own food.
sorry, did you talk about why you thought this? I'd like you to share yours.
Gladly. I think the celery in the clear will live and the celery in the red will die because the dye will kill the celery.
So I asked him why he thought the dye would kill the celery. Will you please?
Sorry.
Will you please share your experience with your mom putting dye in cupcakes?
My mom used to, or not used to, she does, put dye in the cupcake frosting mix because she makes it the same color as my favorite football team, and it makes me feel good. And the dye in the frosting doesn't taste good. It tastes the dye, so I think that since it doesn't taste good, it'll kill the celery.
But we discovered that you ate the cupcake, right, with the frosting on it?
It's like the inside and stuff.
And you lived, right?
I did.
So, your connections aren't completely matching because if you lived, then why wouldn't the celery live? So we're going to figure out these questions and ideas and test your predictions next time. And we're going to do this by using, as I introduced, that we're going to use celery. So we'll use 2 pieces of celery, just like this, and we're going to have 2 containers. And one container is going to have red dye in it, like this one, and one's going to have clear. And we're also going to have plastic knives, not real knives, because we don't want anyone to hurt themselves. And we will cut open both pieces of celery. Are you guys excited?
Yeah! Okay.